Hey, TikTok, Jim Malone here at Dallas Trading Floor. By the way, we're also simulcasting on YouTube. Just type in YouTube, Dallas Trading Floor, and you'll see we come up. And also, we're live on Periscope, pscp.tv/Dallas Trading Floor. If you'd like to ask a question, my name is Jim Malone, and hopefully I can answer it, which is muted during the show, but it's 214-233-5087. If you're on if you're on Periscope or on YouTube, you can type the questions in, and I will also be reading them off the screen for TikTok. Real interesting day. We're seeing an update today after 3 days of a decline in the market. It's definitely interesting times because it's just very volatile out there. It's just amazing how we're seeing just every day. It seems like there's a new, there's something new going on. I mean, it's just it's really interesting how that's the case. But I closed all my positions last night. I am long currently. This is really unusual for me. I am long the TQQQ this morning. It's up slightly, hopefully. I may be closing it out. I have a stop in, and it looks like it's making, it's going to make a high. And okay, I'm out of the TQQQ for today. Not a whole lot of gain there, but but something. So definitely very, very hard to figure the market as it's turning. But I did I eked out a little profit today, so it's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm only up just very slightly, $57, which is not a whole lot, but hey, it's better than a poke in the eye. I just haven't really been able to find direction all that much in the market, so directional trade, and here we go. So basically, I have succeeded in getting lunch money, but hopefully I have some better trades for you that I've been researching this morning, and I think you might be very interested. Let's see. There's definitely going to be another bad unemployment number. Yes, I agree with that. I think there's going to be a horrible unemployment number. I think you're just right on that. I think your view of that is just right on the money. I think it's going to be very bad. I mean, that's just a fact. You just can't do anything right now. The market direction is up, if you can believe it. I mean, it's and again, I eked out just a slight thing. Let me take a question from our viewers on Periscope. Yeah, it's definitely looking sideways. Let me just show you that for everybody on the feed here. Today's market is going sideways, and when the market goes sideways, there is a trading technique that I like to use. It's covered calls, and basically what you do is you look for the top performer. You kind of look at where the market's going to head, and then you purchase it and then sell a covered call on it. That's really all you can do today, and it leads into the first slide that I have up today. And I hopefully, if you can take a look at this, if you can switch over to Periscope. I have all these things up on Periscope today. I have it up on Periscope, but basically what it is that there is a stock out there called KL, which is Kirkland Lake Gold. It is up $2 today, which is very strong considering it is up 9% because it's only a $38 stock. So something you definitely want to look at. By the way, there's been a lot of interesting stuff relative to the USO, which is that contract. As you may remember, it's that contract that that potentially has to take delivery on oil. It's on the oil futures, and basically they're going to have a reverse split on it, and that's just because the thing has just been hammered into the ground. I don't know, that's just one of those contracts out there that, who knows, what sense that makes at all. But again, I just like to highlight some places that you can go into the market for. You can look into the market, and one of these, and one of these areas, I believe, is is the is KL. I think that there's going to be a lot of interest very soon in in the gold area. There are several gold stocks that are very interesting right now. KL being one of them. Another one is Franklin Nevada in FNV, and of course the old standby, which is GLD. GOLD, which is Barrick. You might want to take a look at that. I think we'll have to do a drastic down market. Yeah, I think we are going to have a drastic down market. I think that's really smart, and your view is really good. We've had 3 down days. We're in an update today. It's totally a relief rally. I don't think it's really doing much of anything. So I do agree with you there. By the way, I'll just show you this covered call trade that I have. That's why I think that, we might want to start looking at potentially going into some of the gold stocks. I mean, I didn't think I would say that, but I'm definitely looking at trades on that. On my screen on Periscope, pscp.tv/Dallas Trading Floor, I have a covered call trade that I'm proposing on May 15th, covered call trade for KL. Currently, this one yields, I believe, an annualized return of about 128% if the strike price of $40 is met. And I think that that's fairly likely. It's a fairly likely thing. It is essentially a trade for 23 days. And again, I have it up on the screen. Just wanted to kind of show you this. I'm just going to show you this on the screen here. But basically, what we have is, if you can look at this, basically the way this trade works is you go into the market, you purchase 100 shares of stock. It's trading at 38. So you do have to have cash or credit for about $4,000, which is not a whole lot, but it's depending on how you do it. You then either choose to sell the call for the May 15th call, either for 35 or 40. My recommendation on this one, because it is trending up, is to sell the 40 call, which would give you an immediate profit of $210. And then potential upside if that contract is executed on May 15th of about 107, for a potential upside of about $317, giving you about 128% return for the year if it was annualized. So that's just an idea, and I just thought I would put it up there so that you could see that. Also, today, the best producing stock right now out there is Netflix. Just wanted to show you that as well. It's up pretty strong. They had a very good earnings. Their earnings were very strong. Now today, of course, it went down. That's really what happens. Basically, buy on rumor, sell on fact, and that's exactly what happens. This is one of the reasons why I don't like to hold stocks through earnings. It's very, very volatile, and it can be a big problem, because typically they'll lose value when the earnings come out and facts are known. So that's just my personal view on this. Just going to show you another comment here. So basically, basically what we have is a situation where, again, the at-home stocks are doing well. It's a very confused market right now, the way I see it, and it's just one of those strange times in the market where you're seeing very unusual action. from Periscope, we have somebody that's wrote in here. Market will crash if there is a second wave of Corona coming. Yeah, I think so. There is, but here's the thing about the coronavirus. I don't know. I know it's very deadly and there's a lot of problems, but apparently a lot of people have immunities to it. So it's just a really difficult. It's a really difficult thing to figure out. I certainly don't. I certainly don't know. What the situation is on its hard market to. It's a real hard market to judge. I mean, it really is. The fact that Netflix is an indication the market is oversold. No, I don't really think so. By the way, I have the chart of Netflix up. It's number one in the category. I just think the pullback in when earnings come out, typically most of the time, the stock will fall, especially if it's meet or exceeded earnings. I know that sounds very strange to you, but that's just sort of how it works a lot of times. And so that's the reason why I'm very careful I typically don't like to hold it through earnings, the actual fit to an options play on earnings. And that's, basically to, potentially just, sell my underlying position. But I don't typically like to hold stocks through earnings. It can be very difficult sometimes in terms of, just how it operates. So that's just my take on it. I just typically don't like to do that, and that's the case here with Netflix. I'll give you another slide here really quick. So let's see. Okay, now this is a chart on the S&P. What would you do with $100 cash right now? Hold it. Okay, this is a really good question. Because $100,000 is essentially the amount that they use typically for a model portfolio. For right now, I really believe that the market is going to reverse lower. And I have the chart of the S&P 500 up on the screen. I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom it in here a little bit, but to give you this up on the screen. But basically, the S&P 500 has just bounced off of this moving average here. I don't know if you can see that, but see this moving average. This is the 50-day moving average, and we're basically down in the 2720 range and to the low part of that. I believe we're moving down. I think we're going to test the low being about 2240. Typically, what I'll do is I use as a proxy for this. I use the value of the Spider. This is the largest held ETF, and it tracks the S&P 500. And it made a low of 218 on March 23rd, and I think that's really something that we really have to look for, because that's where I think the bounce is going to go. But I believe we may have made a turn here in the market, even though it's an up day a little bit. The volume is relatively weak, and I don't think. I don't think that the up is going to continue. I think that we may be continuing back to the downside, at least for the rest of this week. So I think it's very dangerous to be long unless you're long on the reverse ETFs. I wouldn't possibly. I would look to possibly buying the SQQQ tomorrow. Or maybe late tonight. I do think we're going to get a reversal, but it just depends on how the trading goes today. It is a very choppy market right now. It's very hard to actually judge the market in terms of direction. I do think, though, that we did change to the upside today direction, but it's still very, very choppy, hard to trade market. So basically, if I had $100,000 right now, and I was going to invest it in the market, I would be in cash. And part of the reason I would be in cash is because I do believe that we're going to see a deflationary shock. Now, oddly enough, here I am talking about trades on gold. It's very odd because typically gold and oil trade in tandem, but because the oil market is so screwed up right now, that's really not the case. And so there may be some very good movement on the market on oil on gold related stocks. Basically, the three that I'm really looking at are KL, of course, Kirkland Lake Gold. I'm also looking at also Franklin, Nevada, which I think is an excellent stock. And then there's the old standby, not a particular favorite of mine, GOLD, which is Barrick. That's another one to look at. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the slide here really quickly. Yeah, okay. What I have up on the screen right now is price changes. Where has it been? Where has it been better? Where is it? Where the market is. So okay, I'm going to take another by the way, if you're on Periscope or on YouTube, I can, it's really great because I can show the question here. What's the difference between an equity and indices? That's a good question, Scott. Basically, the equity is just it's either a stock or it's a ETF, an exchange traded fund, which is basically a basket of stocks. An index is basically just the index without the stocks in them. Now why is that the difference? Well, take for instance the NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ 100 is an index. It's based on the relative weights of the 100 largest stocks on the NASDAQ. But the QQQ is actually an ETF, which basically tracks which basically is that index in a ETF form, that tradable form. So that's sort of the difference. The index is actually just the measurement, and the ETF is actually the measurement put into a security. For instance, for the NASDAQ 100, the security, the primary security on that is what they call the QQQ. That is the ETF that trades exactly as that index trades. There are other ones as well. For instance, for the Dow Jones 30, it's only 30 stocks in there, believe it or not. That is the Diamond, the DIA, and that's an ETF that tracks that index. So it's basically between index and then an actual fund that actually owns the items that are in the index. So that's the difference that I really wanted to put up here. Let's see, another question here. Real quick, and that is the oil market has picked up a bit. Yeah, absolutely, because I think that what's going to happen is that they're going to somehow work out the delivery of those contracts for either the U.S. that the oil ETF had. So I mean, they're going to work those out. But basically, what's happening now is what they call shut-ins. Howard Hamm, who is the head of Continental Resources, one of the largest independent producers in the United States, they're just going to start shutting off wells. So eventually hopefully this oversupply problem will be alleviated. But here's the thing, sitting off the California coast, there's like 30 tankers ready to unload oil that have nowhere to go. The same is true in other ports as well. Off of Houston, they have ports. Literally, there is not enough space to handle to handle the oil. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but we have a situation where there's more oil in the market than can be absorbed by the refiners and the suppliers. I mean, Cushing, Oklahoma, where a lot of the pipelines have storage, at least in the continental United States, that is full up and there's no more room there. So it's really interesting times, really interesting times. Okay, on the USO, I want to bring this question up, and I think this is really important. I don't think you want to buy the USO. I just don't think you want to buy it. It's just too big. It's being too manipulated. I don't see it because it had a reverse split. It's just I think that there's better places to put your money right now. I am not a fan of it because I don't see them. I see them basically defaulting. Yeah, it's down today significantly. It's basically trading for $2.50. I don't think you want to be there, but that's my take on it. I mean, I just don't think you want to be there. I don't think it's a buy at all, and just my opinion. Let's see, take another question here. Okay, Goldman Sachs. Gold could hit $3,000, so it might be safe. You know what? I think so. Interestingly enough, I am not a gold bug, but let me just kind of give you the lowdown here. I'm going to show you this next chart, and I think you should definitely take a look at it. It's very interesting to me because I think it shows very, very, very importantly that we have a situation where if you look at here, Franklin, Nevada is in the 99th percentile right now, symbol FNV, and I have a chart on this as well. It's up, it's up today. Let's take a look exactly what it's trading for at the moment. I'm just going to go over here to my other system, but FNV is basically it's up strong today. It seems like the money is moving into gold, and that's how you make money in the stock market is you figure out where the money is moving, and then you kind of go along with the pack. That's a good way to make money. Also, if you'll notice on this, Kirkland Lake Gold is right under that. Again, KL is the symbol on that. That's the trade that I was showing you earlier. This is a potential trade that I think it's a way to ease back in the market. I know the market's very volatile right now, and so you have to take this with a grain of salt. I wouldn't go all in on this, but I think that there is a movement. If you'll notice that the three golds that I was talking about, Franklin, Nevada, Kirkland Lakes, and Barrick Gold, they all are tracking better than Netflix, which is, by the way, the best of the best in terms of where the safety trade is going. So it's something to look at. I mean, it really, really is. So anyways, I have that up on the screen, and hopefully you can take a look at that. I'm just going to show it all here. Yeah, exactly. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know what PennyMac Financial is doing up there because the comp rating is only 94. You really want to look at the ones, I believe, that have a comp rating of 99, 98, 97. If you're going to go long, and really there's not that much on it. There's Netflix, there's Qualsys, there's Barrick Gold, there's Franklin, Nevada, and there's Kirkland Lake. So that's pretty much it. It's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting in that that's how it works. So interesting times we live in. Again, I just closed out my position on the TQQQ. That's the companion ETF that works on that works with the SQQQ. If you want to short the Qs, you use the SQQQ. If you want to go long, use the TQQQ. I was basically in it for the first 2 hours of today. Not a whole lot of didn't make a whole lot of money on it. Less than $100. Not a terrifically great trade in my opinion, but it's better than it's better to make something than nothing. I just want to show you the CBOE volatility index. This is what the VIX is created from, and the volatility, it's been going up. So we have a situation, I think, that we're looking at here, where we may see increased volatility going forward. It's up today about 1%. And the thing is that this is where we see the volatility spike up. So it's continued to move. The volatility is continuing to move up. So it's definitely something that we want to look at in terms of going forward. I think gold might be a safe haven trade, and that's why I'm recommending possibly looking at it now. What is a good short right now? Well, right now, shorting is extremely difficult. I mean, as I was saying this morning, I mean, I was looking to short Tesla this morning, and I backed out of it just because I didn't have any good confirmation. But so what I did is I thought, okay, well, it's probably going to trade up. Yeah, I could have made a little bit on that, but not a lot, because even though I was looking at it as a short, it's come down. It's come down slightly. It's trading at about 700 right now, but it's really tough. I think that if the market turns down, Tesla might be a short, at least for 2 or 3 days. And that might be a good short that you might want to look at as well. And pays for the gas. Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think people are going to fall out of love a little bit. Long term on Tesla, I'm totally a bull. But with this oil basically being as cheap as it is, I mean, we may not be able to. Who knows? I mean, it's really hard to say. But the thing is, Tesla's got a full oil book. But if everybody's counting their pennies and oil is cheap, I think that adoption rates for Tesla might be a little bit lower. It's still going to do in the future. It's still going to do very well. So I'm not anti-Tesla at all, but I just think that it may have gotten a little bit high in this market condition right now. It may be a little bit high, and it may be a short candidate. But again, I didn't even short it this morning, and I went long, and it worked out, but just barely. So I went long on the TQQQ. That was basically what I did. Just want to give you the CanSlim Select list right now because I think that's a really good that's a really good way to go. But number one is Amazon, of course. Then there's Anthem, which is a health insurer. You've got Cigna, another health insurer. Edwards Lifesciences. But the one I'm really interested in here is number 5 on the list. This is the CanSlim Select. This is the most stringent screen that the IBD, the Investor Business Daily, does, and I think it's very worth looking at. And that's KL. And again, as I was saying, I was showing you a potential play on KL. I may enter the trade. I'm currently, just for lack of full disclosure, I am not in this trade, but I'm looking to possibly do it. So another question from Periscope viewer here. Let's see. All stimulus are given to including the latest $4 billion, still not enough. Yeah, I agree with that. I do. This is a really good comment here that I think is really, really worth pointing out, is that we're going to enter a period. I mean, right now we have essentially unemployment rates that we have 22 million. That's what they were saying. 22 billion people are unemployed right now. Most people don't. Most people have. They have maybe 2 or 3 weeks of savings. That's it. So I'm afraid we're going to see a lot of people on breadlines. I just can't see anything else. And I think that we possibly will have 30 million. So I think a lot of the moves that are being made, it's very interesting. Trump has made a move basically to cut off all immigration into the United States, which actually makes sense because we're in a situation where we're going to have 30 million people unemployed. I think we need to possibly, slow down the immigration, at least temporarily, because, they're going to be people in the streets. So that they're going to probably have to create a WPA or something like that to help people get jobs. I'm afraid. How in the heck are some OTFs holding up to their price? I don't know. I mean, I think people are interested in, they're like, wow, it's so cheap, I'm going to buy it, here at this level. I don't think that's wise. I don't think that's wise. I think that, we want, right now, the default position, I think for most people, at least it is for me, is to be in cash and then look at market direction and then trade that way. I've been just trading directionally essentially for the last few days. I mean, I've been looking to see which direction the market is going and then moving it either into SQQQ or the TQQQ to take advantage of those swings. But again, it's really difficult to figure it out. There's not a whole lot of, with the economy so constrained, I don't know if there's a whole lot of places that you can go in terms of the market to for safe haven. I think the primary safe haven is cash. So it's a tough market to trade right now. Let's see. Golding has more puts, some, yeah, exactly. More puts, some losses. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a really good point that you're making. This may be a time to start putting on the puts. The reason I don't want to suggest anything currently is because I'm still unsure of the market direction. I believe that we're turning. I think we're turning to the downside now. We're going to test the low, but I can't really say that for certain. I can't really say that, can't really say that for certain right now. It's a very interesting time because we seem to be going sideways, and there's not as much of a there's just not as much of a um, of a market there, and I think that's something we got to really look at. So okay, let me show you the groups just really quickly, just for grins here. I'm going to show you the groups that have been producing the best results. Number one is auto manufacturing. This is the reason why I sold all of my Tesla basically on Friday. I was able to get the contract price of 730. It's down now. It's been trading at about 700. I was long Tesla last week. I am out of Tesla right now, and I'm looking for an advantageous time to re-enter. But I do believe it's going to trend lower. And so the number one auto group, the number one group out of the 197 groups is automobiles right now. Just for your information. Computer software is next. This is where Microsoft is. But I think the one you really have to look at is the mining group. It's number 5. And this is where Kirkland Lakes is. This is where Barrick is. And this is where Franco-Nevada is. So those are all 3 potential areas. I think we may see a rotation into some of these mining stocks just because for safety, because I do believe we may see an increased demand of gold. And the thing about gold is that it's highly constrained. So if there's any demand increase in gold, it tends to be magnified tremendously. But where it's really magnified is in the gold mining stocks. Those ones that tend to really react to that kind of news. Currently, it's trading under 2,000, but some people say, hey, by the end of the year, $3,000. That's what Goldman Sachs is saying. And I'm not normally a gold bug, but that might be the way. Okay, let me take a look at the spider here. Okay. Let me see how the spider is trading. This is really the bellwether, the bellwether ETF, I believe. This you'll give you the idea of it is trading up. Okay, that is actually very interesting. It's not surprising that it is trading up today because we are in an update. And again, I traded the TQQQ today up just slightly, not a whole lot. Of course, yesterday I was shorting the SPY, did fairly well. I mean, I made a couple $100, not a whole lot. But at least I had my direction right. And this is as I say, since the Monday I've been really directionally trading, and that's just kind of the way I've been handling it. Just for those little gains, eking out little gains and keeping primarily in cash. Okay, let me see if there's questions that I can have. Okay, good morning. Thanks, man. How the heck exactly, the oil ETFs. I agree with that. Oil ETFs are just the strangest thing. Just going to take another question from Periscope here. Really love this interface. It really makes it easy for me. The SPY will retest. This is really good. Thanks, MV Market Trader. I like your comments a lot. I think we're going to retest too. I agree with you. And then we'll know what the direction is. Right. This is right. Basically we came up above. The spider came up above on Monday. We were in about a 280, 283 range, and it moved down. And it's moving up today. I think it's going to bounce on the 50-day moving average. And I think you're right. I think there's the resistance. We're going to see if it breaks the resistance at 280, and this is a really good point. If it breaks that resistance, then we may be going kind of weird for a while. I believe it's going to reverse and move down and test the low of March 23rd, which is 218. But until that time, who knows? I have a question from somebody here. Oh, wait a minute. It's okay. Move that up. Yeah. Who do you think is going to come out better, Boeing or Ford? Boeing, unfortunately. But the thing about Ford is that the Ford family owns a lot of Ford still, and if they have to take it private, they will. I just think Ford is going to be in a world of hurt this year and next. I don't think I'm going to go out of business for a lot of reasons, but I don't think they're going to be in very good shape. I think they're going to have to I think they have to shrink as a company. And I know that sucks, but it's just the way it is sometimes, I guess. And they've been around for about 115 years. I'm holding some puts. That's interesting. Holding some puts are a big high today. But keeping them still, yeah, okay. Well, that's not a bad idea. I mean, this is a very here's the thing. I mean, if you're holding options, if you're holding puts, that kind of thing, and you're not too into them in terms of cash. It's a really good way to go. You can definitely make money just trading it like that. I mean, that's a good thing to go. So I wouldn't be against that at all. I mean, I think that's really good. I'd have the chart of the S&P 500 up here again. Just wanted to just show it again. As you can see, this line here, this is the 50-day moving average. It bounced off of that. It's opened. This is a Monday. This is the Monday candle here. It's a down candle. It's going to be up, but it's going to come back up. And we're probably going to test at about 2860, 2850, that range for the S&P. So I think we're going to see a retest. I agree with you on that. Let's see. Hey, afternoon from London. Excellent. Thank you, man. Thanks for looking at us over there in London. Really nice place. I hope everything's going well for you over there with the COVID-19 thing. It hasn't really affected Dallas that much, because we're kind of spread out here, even though it's a big city, but it's not really that dense. I just hope that things are better for you guys over there. And I really, good best wishes. Thanks for watching me on TikTok. I really appreciate it. By the way, if you want to see my charts, I'm simulcasting those on Periscope, pscp.tv/Dallas Trading Floor. And then I'm also on YouTube as well. And just put in, just go into YouTube, Dallas Trading Floor, and then it'll show my archive shows as well as the current live that I'm doing now. So that's very cool. Thanks for taking a look. Let's see. Okay. 15 some losses today. Okay. By the way, the reason I'm looking up into the camera like this, I know it's really weird look, especially for those of you looking on Periscope, is that I'm actually reading the prompter from on TikTok. I have a really small screen. I can barely see it. I think we're hearing the end of the correction up from I think we're going to see the correction down as well, Bobby. I really agree with that. By the way, Bobby and Talk, just always shout out to you. Thanks for watching always. Really appreciate your insight. I think we are too. I think we're going to go, and I think we're going to start looking at possibly moving down. Now, here is a long trade. Again, I'm just showing this on Periscope. This is a long trade that I just put up there just for fun. I am not currently. This is a covered call option trade. This is my default trading style when I can't really find direction or multiples of that, and then I sell the option typically 40 to 45 days out. Now, why do I sell it at that range? I'm actually selling some of them at 30. It's because the option decay. The option decay on that, the delta on that is very intense. So even if the stock goes nowhere, trade this sort of sideways trade on Tesla last week, buying 100 shares of Tesla for $7.30, selling the $7.30 call for Friday, and then watching the decay. And then even though it did close, it was eventually contracted for sale, but I was able to option premium. And for KL, which is Kirkland Lake Gold. It's based in Canada. This company is based in Canada, but they own a lot of production in actually Australia in the gold fields, which is really interesting because that is now that South Africa really has so much turmoil. You're seeing Australia come in and take a lot of that 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 trade from them that they used to have. So let me take another question from Fang Li. Appreciate you being on. What do you think will come out better? Okay, going for it. I'm going to answer that one. So the next question is retest. Okay. And let me put another one up here. And that is, hey, thanks. SPY is going much lower than the previous tip. I think so. I really believe it is. I think we're going to retest lows. It's just the question of when to get into. I don't think you want to short it too soon. I don't think you want to short it too soon. Another way to do it, of course, is to buy puts. I personally don't like to buy puts as much as I like to actually short the stock. You can get a tremendous amount of leverage with the puts, and I think it's a safe way to play it. Typically, buying options, I typically don't like to buy options. I like to sell them because 70% of the time I'm on the right side of the trade there. But you could, in this market, it's so crazy that buying them might be the way to go, really. But again, as I say, I like to sell, to sell the options. That's my main go-to strategy, at least in a market that's moving sideways. But when we get confirmation, we will see it move differently than that. Okay, airline stocks. Wait, okay, just got here. But if you had talked about your prediction for the future of the market, I believe what we're doing is we're testing the. I think we're testing. We're testing the S&P is testing, and I believe that we're going to see a reversal. The question is, when will it be? That's always the question. Predictions are always right sometime. It's just the question of when. But I do believe that we've hit up against some resistance on the spider. The spider was trading. The spider is trading up a little bit today, but it is down from where it was at the beginning of the week. I believe it's going to move. I believe it's going to reverse. Today is an up day. I mean, that's just the way it is. Today is an up day. Again, I had a position in the TQQQ, and I opened and closed it twice, which is not great strategy, but and I made basically just a little less than $100, basically nothing. But at least I didn't lose any money, but I didn't really make any money. So I made my lunch money today. So it's just a weird market. But I do believe once it starts to move to the downside, I will be all in on the shorting. I'll probably short the spider, but I'm going to wait for the direction before that. Before I do that. So that's really the way I'm looking to do. Do you think Navex is a good buy? Let me look at it. NVAX. Let me just quickly look at the chart here. By the way, when I'm turning away, I'm not turning away from you. I'm just looking at another monitor here that I have that I can actually quickly look at okay, it's down today. It looks like it is moving in the wrong direction. I don't think this is a good buy. Here's the thing. When you're looking to buy these stocks, even if you can't help it, you want to be in a position when you're buying to always buy an uptrend. Always buy an uptrend. And right now this is a downtrend. So just at this point, don't buy it until you have a confirmed uptrend. When you're buying a stock like this, if you're going long, you want to leg into it. So you want to start your position small. You want to go, say, 10, one half position. Then if it confirms to the upside, you want to go in a full position. Now, what do I mean by full position? Well, if you had $100,000 in your portfolio, there would be 8 full positions in your portfolio. So typically, a full position is about 12.5% of the available capital that you have to trade. That full position is $1,250. So if your account value was approximately $10,000, you would want to leg into a position like that, going in no more than like a half position to start on a confirmed uptrend. So if you were to do that, you would basically go in and make a buy equal to about $600 of stock in that. So, you might only be able to buy 20 shares, or you might only be able to buy 5 shares. But that's how you do it. I don't think it's in this kind of market. You want to be mostly in cash until we see some market direction. Once we see the market direction, then I think you can go long more confidently. Right now, I just don't think it's time to be. I think it's time to be very careful, hoarding your cash, and not letting it run. Not letting the any downturn get you, because you can destroy a lot of capital in this market if you're not careful. Yeah, it's going down. Good. That's actually, that's a good idea, Bobby. If the market is going to go down, here's the thing: always try to never take more than a 7% loss on anything you're long on. It's just it's just that's the most important thing. Don't try to don't try to figure it out. If it goes against you 7%, you want to have your stop loss in there. You want to be selling, because the most important thing, I believe, for anything right now is capital preservation. So you want to be really careful on this. Let's see. I've been by the top all day. Yeah, this is a this is the thing. It's very hard to be long right now, because the market, I believe, is going to reverse direction and it's going to go lower. Now, when the market moves lower, you're going to see opportunities for short selling. But right now, your default position, I believe, is cash, because we're in a deflationary shock. A lot of people have lost their jobs. You're going to see this as these earning reports come in. Just a lot of companies are just going to cut their guidance. It's not going to be good for a lot of these companies, because there's just not people out there buying anything. I mean, that's why Netflix is up so much, because everyone is basically stuck at home, and so they're watching, the Tiger King or whatever the show is on there right now. I don't know, but that's the thing. So buying long right now is sort of difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible. I was long this morning, but I was long in an index, and I basically had a half position. I didn't have I didn't even have a half. I had a quarter position. So I didn't lose any money. I didn't make a whole lot of money. I made basically just shy of $100, not a lot. I mean, yesterday I was able to eke out about $500, but when this thing starts to move decisively in one direction or the other, there's going to be a lot of proper opportunities. Right now, it's going sideways, so it's very hard market to trade. I think your best position right now is to keep your powder dry. That's just my take on it. Yeah, cash is king. I really think so, and this is really hard. This is really a test of your trading. Of your trading acumen, because it's so tempting to go in and move in. Let's see. Oh, small position in the MPC. Let me take a look at this MPC. This is interesting. Now, I am not against small positions, but unless the trade is going your way, get out. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, Marathon. No, I wouldn't, and I don't think Marathon has a strong enough balance sheet. I think Marathon is going to be potentially one of the companies that's acquired, which may be good, but I think you want to stick to the super majors like BP or Exxon right now. I think that, let me look at how BP is trading. Yeah, BP's trading up and Marathon is trading down. This is no surprise. Yeah, this is one you want to look at. Instead of going into Marathon, take a look at BP. They have a much, much stronger balance sheet, and they are potentially acquirer of other companies that are weak. I think you might want to look at BP. Let me just take a quick gander. I don't know how they rank in terms of their. I don't know how they rank in terms of their. And I don't know if I can tell you quickly enough of their position in the market. But I think that I don't know if you'd want to do that. I don't know if you want to go small position in Marathon right now. I just don't think so. I wouldn't do it, but again, so I'm sorry. I hear that. Cough. Okay. It's so hard. When the market changes direction, you just want to go in there and you want to buy, but it's so freaking hard to do. Hedge funds are saying the Roths are priced in, with oil being the indicator of how. I don't think so. I wish I believed that. I don't think people realize how the situation on oil is going to be. I think the situation on oil is going to be, with oil prices so low, I think it's going to be tremendous. I think we're going to have tariffs on imported oil, which is absolutely amazing. And I think that might not be a bad idea. I mean, what I think ought to happen, of course, it's not going to happen because it's anti-competitive, but I think the Texas Railroad Commission should take a lead in allocating production in this country so that the Saudis and the Russians don't destroy our oil market, at least temporarily. So, but I don't know if that's going to work. But yeah, okay. Oil should be free. Well, a lot of things should be free. I mean, unfortunately, you've got to pay for the transportation of the people to bring it out of the ground. I mean, even dirt, believe it or not, is not free if you have it delivered to your house. I know because I'm working on my garden right now, and I've actually had to pay for dirt to be delivered. I mean, I have a lot of dirt, but I'm getting better dirt. Even if it's in the ground, it's free. It's not free. So that's the reason why when oil goes negative, it just screws up all the market, and it just it's one of those bad deals all the way around. It's just bad. Product being made. Yeah. Do you think Tesla will drop lower? Yes, I do. Okay, yeah. I think so. I think, at least in the short term, I think Tesla's going lower. I'm actually waiting for it to I'm waiting for it to see if there's support at the 680 level on Tesla. As you all know, I do trade Tesla very actively. I'm long on Tesla this week. I am so glad I didn't. I'm so glad I didn't, because it has moved down. I think you're going to see some support at about the 675, 680 level on that, because that's the bottom of the candle on yesterday's trade. So I do think that there's a week, and I think we're going to reverse tomorrow. I think we're going to have a down day tomorrow. Based on this very, very weak up day today, I think we're going to go down tomorrow. Now it's just based just really looking at the indexes. It's really based on how the spider is trading. I think the spider is going to trade lower, and that's going to indicate that we're going to move lower on the market tomorrow. Now, when the futures are saying that the market is going to open lower direction, it's not the market direction today. Market direction was up. That's why I was trading the TQQQ, which moves up. Now, if you can't short the spider directly, the alternative, it's basically 1, 2, or 3. Kind of like when you go to McDonald's, you big. Okay, it's down just slightly. It was up tremendously yesterday. Well, not tremendously, but it was up significantly. I think you're going to see a turn. I think you're going to see it, my guess, based on this chart action. But again, it really depends on how the futures open. I think that might be a potential trade for tomorrow. The two trades I'm really looking at for my long-term, and then for the short-term directional trade for tomorrow, which I believe that the market is going to change direction tomorrow. I think that is possibly the PSQ and not the SQQQ. I think you want to look at the PSQ. Anyways, it's almost been an hour, and I so appreciate everybody coming and listening to my rants here. I just want to put this up on the screen. Basically, I hope you're on our mailing list. I'm going to start creating a sort of an alerts. I'm short staffed. I'm not in my normal offices, and I don't have my interns, unfortunately, because of this COVID-19 thing. But we're coming up on a time when that's going to happen, and we're going to open up here, hopefully in Dallas, soon. So I just wanted to point you to that. It's www.dallastradingfloor.com, and that's our alerts list. And thank you again for everybody. Thanks for watching, and be safe. And I hope that you have a good trading day today. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central Time. And I'll see you later, TikTok. Thanks again for today. And for everybody on YouTube and Periscope, thank you so much. And put the alerts on. I have to get the little thing so that I can build my presence on YouTube. Hopefully that will be the way to go. And again, thank you so very, very much. And I just want to show you the Periscope address. I'm going to put the crawler on here, and hopefully you will see that just shortly. And again, thank you for everybody taking a look today. And I'm on 11 o'clock market days, Monday through Friday. Again, be safe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.